Law & Order SVU recap. Showdown delivers a shocking fall finale. Here is your Law & Order SVU recap for tonight's brand new Thursday, November 20, 2025 episode on NBC. According to the NBC synopsis for tonight's Law & Order SVU Season 27 Episode 8, Showdown, Bruno looks into the inconsistencies in a man's claim that his fiancée was abducted. After a quarrel, Tynan lashes out at Benson. On the stand, Griffin must defend his police work. For our Law & Order SVU recap, be sure to bookmark this page and return between 9 and 10 p.m. ET. Check out all of our Law & Order SVU recaps, spoilers, news, and more while you wait for the recap. The Law & Order SVU recap for tonight starts now. To see the most recent information, frequently refresh the page. A man said he phoned 911 because of his girlfriend in tonight's Law & Order SVU episode. In the middle of the night, his girlfriend was taken. He suspects that he may have also heard her being sexually assaulted. Nikki Suarez is her name. Greg Morrison, her lover, was afraid for her because she was gone. Greg was rich. Due to securities fraud, he served some time. He changed that, though, and is now a motivational speaker. Greg's account of what transpired that evening looked strange. He asserted that Nikki's kidnapper had robotic speech. Additionally, the kidnapper informed him that he had lasers and cameras installed throughout the house. Greg also claims he was too afraid to take any action. Not even when he heard someone being sexually assaulted. "I'm tied up," remarked Greg. He believed that this man would kill his sweetheart if he called out for her or attempted to escape his bindings. His whole narrative felt like a storyline. He didn't appear sincere. He was concealing something, as the police suspected. He kept his other lover, Kelsey James, a secret. He was at the police station, Kelsey heard. To see how he was doing, she headed down there. At first, the police believed she was a returning Nikki. When they learned that Greg was leading a second life, they were astounded. After attending a meeting, Captain Benson came back early to speak with Kelsey. Regarding Greg, she questioned Kelsey. For the past year, the two have been together. Kelsey was unaware of Nikki's existence. As a motivational speaker, Greg demonstrated his ability to deliver what people wanted to hear. At least that's what the police believed. Additionally, they started to suspect Greg of killing Nikki. They reasoned that he most likely wished to conceal the relationship from his more committed partner. Before they could really receive answers, Greg filed a lawsuit. To see his story, they tied. He said that the architect's house keys were still in his possession. They had a conversation with the architect. He spoke to Nikki once while he was hurt. He claimed that when he startled Nikki, she became frightened. She said she believed she was being stalked. She simply chose not to report it so as not to seem as suspicious. She didn't even mention anything to Greg. When Greg fired the architect for failing to bribe a city official to obtain permits, the architect also mailed back the keys. Along with his final bill, he sent the keys. Greg may not have opened it for that reason. They investigated Nikki. There was no one near her. She had a roommate, but that was all. Despite their lack of friendship, Nikki spent the majority of her time with Greg. Greg could have been her father. Nikki has a fitness ring on as well. She never takes it off. They tracked her to Coney Island, where they lost the signal, using the position from that ring. However, they discovered Nikki in Brighton Beach, which is close by. Nikki didn't seem to be in it. Since Benson arrived at the scene first, she stayed at the hospital with Nikki. She got into difficulties with her supervisor because of it. Chief Tynan desired to hold a press conference. As captain, she practically demanded that Benson be present, and Benson informed her that the probe was still ongoing. First, she was with Nikki. Tynan was left to handle the media by himself. This was referred to as a gone girl issue by the media. The fact that the chief had nothing more to say than that this was an ongoing matter did not sit well with them. Tynan felt as though she had been left out to dry. Benson was fighting off Greg, and she was unhappy. Greg came to speak with Nikki at the hospital. Nikki was already aware of Kelsey. She was distressed and probably traumatized. Tynan's failure to rule out the gone girl scenario didn't help. They questioned Nikki about the stalker. She introduced Quentin Welsum to them. They had a single date. That was all there was to it. Prior to Quentin abruptly starting to call her a few weeks ago, Nikki believed it was finished. He referred to her as a woman of poor value. She believed she spotted him a couple of times outside Greg's house, but she wasn't positive. She was spending so much time there because of this. Nikki was concerned that someone was following her. They covered her eyes with duct tape that night, so she never saw her assailant. She was only aware that they had attacked her and continued to use the B word. Quentin was located by the police. He was off from work for 2 days. He didn't call anyone. During that period, he used a buddy's automobile, and he even requested the guy to pretend to be with him the entire time. Quentin said that Nikki orchestrated the entire incident when the police were able to apprehend him. He claimed that during the press conference, Tynan essentially acknowledged as much. Quentin is employed by an AI firm. That might account for the way he altered his voice. He's been known to stalk. In fact, he broke into the flat of another woman. In the automobile he borrowed that evening, they also discovered a partial print of his on the duct tape. When the perp recruited a high-profile defense attorney, none of that mattered. Benson even tried to defend her people by taking the stand. The needle was only halfway moved. The jury was unable to reach a consensus. A mistrial had to be declared by the judge. Quentin must be brought back to stand trial at a later date. Benson rejected Griff's attempt to step down because they all performed their duties. Tynan also questioned Benson's oversight of her group. Tynan was thinking of taking Benson's place. She even warned Benson that she might soon find herself at a desk and advised her to keep in mind the chain of command the next time she calls.